On another episode of Comics Bringing Up Brain Dead Schaub, we have Bert Kreischer and Bobby Lee briefly bringing up the Brendan Schaub drama. Take a look.
We're going to have a Brendan Schaub situation. If you don't invite me to the program, don't edit that out. Don't edit it. That's the worst thing I could say to somebody, right? That is the worst thing I could say. We could have a Schaub, all right? All right, so be fucking careful, dude.
My daughters love Brendan.
Kidding me right now, dude?
Who that?
You fucking kidding me right now, dude? Oh my God.
He just shows up with really expensive cars.
Bert replied by saying his daughters love Brendan Schaub because he pulls up in very expensive cars, and he can also push them if they run out of gas. Some people think Bert is mocking Brendan Schaub, but I don't think so. I mean, he just recently had a podcast with the guys from Are You Garbage, and they were drinking his whiskey and, talking good on Brendan Schaub. So I don't think there's any bad vibes between Bert and Schaub, in my opinion. So I think this one is a reach. But we also have the one and only Annie Lederman. She went on to the Comedy Store's podcast, which is hosted by Brian Callen and Brendan Schaub from An Alternate Reality. And, she was just talking, making jokes.
Mama's like,
up the word boppy. This triggered something in the host's head and was like, this is my chance to bring up Brendan Schaub. So he said, Gringo Papi, Mexican, and she tried to keep the joke going, but, moved on, and this wasn't that bad in my opinion. I just think drama channels are trying everything, trying to find anything and anybody that remotely mentions Schaub to make a big deal out of it. Now, I don't want to sit here and sound like I'm defending Brendan Schaub, because I'm not. I'm just saying what I think. And I also think Brendan Schaub is getting annoying on The Fighter and the Kid. I think somebody should time how long he talks versus Brian and remind him that this is not the Shady Schaub show. We also got an update from half human, half lion, Mark Harley. He addressed the doxing drama on his last episode.
There was quite a controversy stirred by me making the claim that I would give somebody's public details, or I would make public somebody's life details, such as name, address, etc., workplace. Now, apparently some people out there really didn't like that. Specifically, what are you doing? You're like talking about a hypothetical crime against a non-existent person. I never mentioned any names. I didn't mention any handles or anything like that.
Spoiler alert, nothing happened and nothing illegal was going to happen, according to Mark. He explains how they didn't share any personal information or names and they did nothing wrong, and that the information they had wasn't private and was just information that anyone had access to. For example, when somebody writes on their Instagram bio what they do for work or where they work, that kind of stuff. Basically, there are no plans of doxing anyone and there are no lawsuits yet. It sounds like the subreddit got trolled and they're mad about it. Mark didn't expose anyone like he said he would last week. So we could assume that maybe he was actually going to dox someone and this whole thing stopped him from doing it and he realized how dumb of a mistake he was about to make. So last, Shappelle is quitting Thiccc Boy Studios. He posted this on his Instagram story a few days ago. Shappelle is a funny comic and him moving on was going to happen eventually. To be completely honest, he was great on The Fighter and the Kid while he was there, but he wasn't the most talented podcaster, in my opinion. Podcast Chappelle's World was a bit boring, and whenever he was on Cats After Dark, that was his chance to kill it, and he didn't do that. Naturally, I can see him moving on and not wanting to be part of the Thiccc Boy crew. And he also explains on Cats After Dark that he doesn't see himself as a podcaster in the future, which I don't know if he'll stick by this, because in my opinion he should have a podcast, but hey, what do I know? His stand-up is solid and funny, so I think he'll be fine. Now, to be completely honest, if anybody has any talent, why would they be under the Thiccc Boy umbrella? I mean, don't get me wrong, Schaub has given people like Little Brows a platform to grow and showcase their skills, but eventually everybody is going to leave, except for Chin. I hope he really gets that bag while he's there, because he's loyal. But to think this was a falling off, it really wasn't. You watch Cats After Dark, which I don't know why you would, but he explained on there why he's leaving and how he's going to be dropping into the podcast from time to time. And if you're wondering, Cats After Dark is basically, Thiccc Boy employees, producers, getting together and making a podcast, which is pretty wild, pretty crazy, huh? So we got for today. See ya.